Hello, ladies and gentlemen watching on YouTube, and welcome to Race 26 of Season 10 of the NNSCRA Marvel Studios Cup Series. I am Levi McIntyre, the voice of the NNSCRA Marvel Studios Cup Series, here to welcome you to the Ben & Jerry's Challenge here at Lime Rock Park as we're getting set for 20 laps of racing at this little over a mile-and-a-half long road course, and should be a good one. We shall see how it all turns out, but the top 10 of the point standings really shook up in a big way after our previous race at Oswego. James Qualls leads by 50 points over Kyle Matthews, 65 over Michael Norman, 75 over Jay Jefferson, 225 over Riley Henry, 230 over Dylan Poteet, 265 over Dylan Jacobs, 275 over Laney Marino, 285 over Charles Belding, and 340 over Jordan Forbes. Anything can still happen. Anybody that's still got a reasonable chance can easily find themselves up there in the hunt if they can get the good luck on their side, because after this race, 10 races left in the season. With that said, let's look at the starting lineup. Charles Sanford getting his first pole of the season, with Riley Henry starting next to him in second. Row 2, we have Daniel DK and Laney Marino. Row 3, Scott Groverston, Lisa Nelson. Row 4, Carson Gum, Dylan Jacobs. And then Row 5, Seth Cole and Ricky Karaman. Let's get the command to fire engines for the Ben & Jerry's Challenge here at the Lime Rock Park.
Drivers, start your engines!
All 40 drivers now rolling through the final corner to get ready to get this race underway. But yeah, a lot of drivers with a lot to prove here today. Drivers who are trying to get closer to the points lead, drivers trying to regain momentum, drivers trying to break long winless streaks, and drivers still searching for their first ever win in this series. As we're coming out of the final corner, as we're getting ready to get this bad boy underway, pace car is in pit road, so ladies and gentlemen, you all know exactly what that means. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time to boogity 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 go racing. Well, Riley Henry came in like a house of fire as he decided, you know what, I want to go ahead and lead the first lap just to make sure I can get those valuable 5 extra bonus points towards the championship season total. So Riley Henry right now up the front of the field, but Charles Sanford not too far behind. In fact, he's starting to close the gap on the 40 car. Because, yeah, Charles just could not really hold off the 40 car on that first lap. But, whoa, look at the run he's got going, though. As he's looking to try and get back to the front and try and get his extra 5 bonus points. He already got 5 bonus points for qualifying up on the pole. But he wants to try and get another 5 for leading a lap. Although it seems like the first half of the track, Sanford is stronger than Riley. But there in the final few corners, like through the bus stop, through the final corners, Riley just has a better car than the 03. Meanwhile, battle on for the third position, Laney Marino and Daniel DK, who started on that second row together, And they have been going at it since the drop of the green flag, with Laney taking that spot from DK, but DK wants to get that spot back. And he tries to go for a crossover move, going from the top to the bottom in an instant. And DK finally gets that run back that he needed and gets back to the third spot. Now he can try and focus his attention on trying to run down the top two. And speaking of that top two, Charles, much better third lap, as he was able to really close the gap on the 40 car. And this in turn also helps for DK to possibly close in a big way. In fact, he does close in big time, as right here up at the front of the field, we got a battle on for the top position between Riley and Charles. Although Charles not really going for it just yet. Maybe he's just kind of waiting for the right opportunity to make that move. And Charles finally manages to make the move, and now he could possibly get the lead all to himself, and he does. So Charles Sanford up to the front once more here at Lime Rock, and he will finally get that extra 5 bonus points for leading a lap. Although Daniel DK was faster than those two, as we got a 3-car breakaway up here at the front. But they haven't pulled away from the rest of the field very much, as 4th place Scott Roverston, he's up here in the mix, and he's been really closing in on the top 3. He came right at the line, was only less than 1.4 seconds back, but another driver who's been slowly picking their way through the field is Lisa Nelson in the 6 car, as she's been picking her way through the field little by little. And meanwhile, this battle for the lead heating up as Riley Henry takes the lead back from Sanford. DK kind of maybe playing a little bit of possum, perhaps, in hopes to see these two up ahead of him start racing much harder and he can take advantage of it. But he doesn't want to lay back too much, because the 42 is closing in on the top 3 bit by bit. In fact, he closed it up to almost a 1 second flat, so could turn into a 4-car dogfight for this top spot. And meanwhile, battle on for 5th between Lisa Nelson in the 6 and Seth Cole in the 25, as these two are going at it side by side. And look at this giant hornet's nest of drivers going for spots, and DK finally gets up to 2nd. Now he's just got one more car in sight to get the lead, and that's Riley Henry in the 40. Excuse me. And meanwhile, Charles Sanford drops back to 3rd, and now Scott Roverston right there on his back bumper. Right there where he was there on the back bumper. It seems like this final corner really does shift momentum in quite a fundamental way. It's all about who can get onto the gas a lot better throughout that part of the track. And now it might turn into a 6-car fight for the lead, because now Lisa Nelson and Seth Cole have caught the top 4. So this racing's been really, really solid up here at the front of the field. Nobody's able to get an advantage over anybody. It's just all a matter of hitting your marks, making your moves at the right time, like Daniel DK feels like it's time to do, as he's there to the inside of the 40 of Riley Henry. Can he make the pass going through the bus stop? And can DK clear the 40? Yes, he does. Daniel DK now to the front of the field. As look at Scott Roverston. He's been really a house of fire on the track, as he now moves up to the 4th spot, or not 4th, 3rd, excuse me, as he just passed Charles Sanford for the position. And oh man, we might have green flag pit stops coming along. That or Quentin Moore might have had something go wrong. But yeah, green flag pit stops. But But yeah, if that is the case that we're seeing green flag pit stops this soon, it really is going to make this race change up in a big, big way. As we get back up here towards the front of the field, and it looks like Quentin Moore does blend back into traffic fairly well. And is actually not too far behind the leader, so he could try and fight to get back on the lead lap, possibly. But right now, Daniel DK holding steady up here at the front of the field. I'm going to keep an eye out. I'm going to look throughout the field to see if anybody decides to pull into pit road, and doesn't look like it. So, must have been an issue with the 27 car to the reason why he decided to come to pit road by himself. Let's take a look and see who's run the fastest lap of the race so far. Lindsey Snyder, and look at those under 57-second lap times run by Lindsey Snyder, Alex Hoover, and Henry Sanford. 56.748, 56.962, 56.971. Then out of the 57-second lap times, Daniel DK is the fastest at 51.144. And look at all this battle on for, was going to go on for the second spot. Riley Henry and Scott Groverston, good friends and teammates, but Riley just carried more momentum out of that lane. Oh, and I was about to say, like, what in the world happened to the 40 car? He just lost a ton of ground to DK up at the front. I don't know if he messed up on that final corner or what, but that helped for Daniel DK to pull ahead to a little over a 1-second lead over Riley Henry. As meanwhile, Hornet's Nest fighting for the third spot between Scott Groverston and Seth Cole, and Quentin Moore has actually gone past a few of the lead lap cars as he's looking to try and get back up there ahead of Daniel DK so he can get his lap back. But with there being no cautions on road courses anymore, or at the very least certain road courses, that doesn't help him much. Not sure if Alyssa Drayson decided to come to pit road by herself or not, but she fell way off. But regardless, Daniel DK is just holding steady up here at the front of the field as we've seen some really good action up at the front of the field in the first half. Now we're about ready to get into the second half of the race where it's going to come down to pit strategy of who can come out of the pits the fastest and the most accurate. But right now you got these three cars battling for the second spot. Riley Henry, Seth Cole, and Scott Groverston. And look at Seth Cole go as he's got a huge head of steam as he tries to go by Riley Henry to get up to second. And now Scott Groverston now going to take third away from his teammate Riley Henry, as Quentin Moore has proven to be a bit of a problem for these leaders racing, because Quentin Moore is a man on a mission trying to get his lap back. So far, nobody up at the front of the field has elected to come to pit road. As meanwhile, back here to Charles Sanford, the pole sitter, although another car did come in, and that was Charles Belding. So I have to wonder if Belding and Alyssa Drayson just decided to pit by themselves and see what happens. But yeah, I can definitely tell that those guys would probably have to pit maybe one more time. I don't know, depending on whatever is going on with them. But these leaders, they're guaranteed to only have a one-stop race up right now. But look at how fast Quentin Moore is going on the track. He has been really, really pushing it as he's now close to the back bumper of the leader, Daniel DK, to try and get his lap back. And Charles Belding's going really fast as well, as he was caught a lap down from coming into pit road. As these guys are really trying very hard to get back their laps. But in turn, it actually helped for DK to pull away from everybody else. As on that lap, DK pulled ahead to almost a 1.5 second lead, but Quentin Moore is right there on his back bumper and even getting into him a little bit. And yeah, Quentin Moore is not messing around as he is desperately trying to get his lap back. Same with Charles Belding, as they are now about ready to fight it out with the leader DK, and this is going to help for Seth Cole to come back closer to the back bumper of DK to try and battle it out for the lead before pit stops. What a job by the 91 and the 27 to battle it out with DK to get their lap back. As meanwhile, DK is really getting slower on the track, and I feel like that's because the tires are starting to go away. So you can definitely tell whenever they have to come to the pits, and speaking of which, here they come. All the top 10, it looks like, is coming in. Although, did we already see some cars come in? Yeah, there was a bunch of guys that came into pit road before everybody else. So, gonna be curious to see how the field will look now as a result. And you gotta wonder if Charles Belding, because of the fact he pitted later than Quentin Moore, like past the halfway point, could he be in the catbird seat because he battled to get his lap back, and DK lost a bunch of time to those tail end or lap down cars that are now tail end cars. As I'm about to see who's going to come out of the pits first, it looks like, to no surprise, it's going to be DK, Seth, Scott, Riley, and close, but it looks like Lindsey Snyder is going to get up there. So if that were to be the top 5, you'd have 3 out of 6 Shadow Cole Racing drivers up into the top 5, which would be impressive. But now we're starting to see the field kind of get cycled back around, as a few of the cars that pitted in that first group of the lead lappers starting to cycle around, but Daniel DK gets the lead back, or keeps the lead, in fact. So now, let's try and do our best to do a full field rundown to see how the field looks currently, as we're getting closer to the end of the Ben & Jerry's Challenge here at Lime Rock Park. Daniel DK is the race leader, second is Seth Cole, third is Scott Groverston, fourth Riley Henry, fifth is Lindsey Snyder, sixth is Laney Marino, seventh Lisa Nelson, eighth Charles Sanford, ninth Alex Hoover, 10th Jesse Turner, 11th is Charles Belding. Henry Sanford is still on pit road, I don't know what for. Anyways, 12th is Matt McIntyre, 13th William Brock, 14th Kyle Matthews, 15th is Jordan Forbes, 16th Ryan Acosta, 17th Cole Deaver, 18th Jessica Sheldon, 19th Lauren Marino, 20th is Jonathan Zorline, 21st is Melissa Alexander, 22nd Michael Norman, 23rd Rafael Leduc, 24th Dylan Jacobs, 25th Ricky Karaman, 26th is Artur Castanha, 27th Dylan Potey, 28th Dylan Young, 29th DJ Curtis, 30th Matt Haas, 31st is Keith Miller Jr., 32nd Daniel Voiles, 33rd Carson Gum, 34th Daniel Bouchard, 35th James Qualls, and then currently bottom 5 is Jay Jefferson, Hannah Klein, Alyssa Drayson, Quentin Moore, and still on pit road multiple laps down, Henry Sanford. But back up here at the front with less than 5 laps to go, Daniel DK currently leads by a little over 2 seconds over Seth Cole, as DK is kind of off on his own, as meanwhile, one driver who's blazing on the track right now is Lindsey Snyder, as she is now moved up to the 3rd spot and is closing in on 2nd place Seth Cole. And you gotta wonder if she has enough time to perhaps even make a run at the lead of Daniel DK. But DK's just got such a big margin right now, it'd be very, very hard to pull that off. But we'll see how it goes, as we're coming to the line, 4 laps to go, and DK currently leads by a little over 2 3/4 of a second over 2nd place. But Lindsey Snyder was 4 seconds back, now 3 seconds back, as, wow, I think she might have, yeah, she just ran the fastest lap of the race at 56.729. So she is blazing on the racetrack, but now she just needs to get around Seth Cole, and she's going to go to the bottom to make it happen. So if Lindsey can keep the run she's got going right now, she could reel in the 66 within a couple of laps, but it's going to be a challenge for sure. Meanwhile, I was looking around the field to make sure everything was still on the up and up, but we're coming to 3 laps to go, and Daniel DK, who has been searching for his first win, not only of the season, but in this entire series, and right now holding a little over a 3-second lead over the one of Lindsey Snyder. As long as he can just stay on the track and not get slow, he is good to go to finally win here in the Marvel Studios Cup Series. And you want to talk about a big bounce back. First 15, 16 races of the season, DK was top 5, top 10 in points all year long. Then he hit a brick wall where he fell as low as 23rd to 24th in the points. Past few races, he's been getting back in the groove. Moved up currently to 13th in the standings, but I feel like with a win here today, he's easily going to get back into the top 10 in points. But can he keep the car up at the front of the field for long enough? As we're coming to 2 laps to go here in the Ben & Jerry's Challenge. And DK's just running faster and faster lap times than what he thought capable of. But Lindsey Snyder, who I thought was going to maybe make a run for it, maybe she used up everything she had trying to get by Seth Cole for position, and now she can't match the lap times of Daniel DK. As meanwhile, Scott Groverston in 3rd, and then battle on for 4th between Seth Cole and Lisa Nelson, as Lisa Nelson trying to get clear, and she does. And Seth Cole, if he can stay in the top 5, this would be huge, because this would be his first top 5 of the season. And that would be a big confidence booster for that 25 team. Meanwhile, as I'm still looking around on things, man, Charles Sanford has dropped from being the pole sitter back to now probably 11th on the track. But the white flag is about to be displayed. White flag out for Daniel DK. Now the question is, can he stay on track, not overdrive and hit the wall? And if he can do that, he will be golden to finally win his first race. Meanwhile, we could see a battle go on for 3rd here on the final lap. Lisa Nelson just really driving the wheels out of that number 6, trying to get up to 3rd to get past Scott Groverston. And, whoa, a little nudge, but she looks like is going to get the spot. But we're coming out of the final corner after so many close calls. The man, the myth, the legend, the man himself, Daniel DK, is going to take the checkered flag. Daniel DK is going to win the Ben & Jerry's Challenge at Lime Rock Park. Unbelievable job for that 66 DK Army Racing Ford, as Daniel DK, after so many close ones, he finally breaks the glass ceiling, and he gets his first career win in the Marvel Studios Cup Series. Unbelievable job for that young man. You can definitely tell he's going to get drunk and high celebrating this victory, so go party all night if you have to. But let's look at the rest of the results. Lindsey Snyder, best finish in quite a while as she finishes in the 2nd spot. I felt like if she had kept that pace she had going about 5 laps ago, she might have had a shot at the win, but still, great run in the 2nd position. She definitely needed that. Lisa Nelson, solid performance in the 3rd spot. She was just coming through really fast towards the end, picking off spot after spot, and she comes through with a 3rd place finish. Scott Groverston, great run in 4th, as that will definitely help his chances of trying to get back into the top 10 in points. And Seth Cole finally getting his first top 5 of the season, finishing in a strong 5th place. Great 6th place run for Riley Henry. He's definitely going to gain a lot of points on the drivers ahead of him in the standings. Laney Marino, same thing, with a great solid performance in 7th. Alex Hoover, didn't really talk much about him. He finishes in a great 8th place run. Charles Belding, solid run in 9th. And Jordan Forbes continuing a lot of a momentum resurgence, finishing in 10th. Then there is your top 20, top 30, and the bottom 5 for this week were Hannah Klein, Alyssa Drayson, Quentin Moore, Keith Miller Jr., and Henry Sandford. So that does it for our coverage here today at Lime Rock Park for the Ben & Jerry's Challenge. Thank you for watching, as here is DK's Victory Burnout, as well as the point standings heading into our next race in the Northeastern Swing, which will be at Boston. But until then, this is Levi McIntyre, signing off.